Food, glorious food. Only a few things in the world can make you as happy as food. Sometimes all it takes to be happy is a breakfast bagel, maybe pizza for lunch, then a heavy steak dinner with some mushrooms and watermelon fruit on the side. However, if you have money, you can treat your taste buds to some of the most expensive cuisines that money can buy. Number 10, Mataki or Matsutake mushrooms, $1,000. At number 10, we have the Mataki, or Matsutake mushroom if you prefer, the most expensive mushroom in the world. Right from the days of the ancient Aztecs and Mayans when they used it for religious rituals, to the royal houses of Egypt and China, where it worked for medicinal purposes, mushrooms have always been famous among culinary fans. There's even research evidence to support that mushrooms could be used at some point to cure cancer. For the longest time, mushrooms have remained a big part of our palate, and for most of that period, they've been pretty easy and cheap to come by, except for the Mataki. This mushroom is so expensive that it would cost you nothing less than $1,000 to get your hands on one of them. Why? Simple. It's one of the rarest mushrooms in the world. Heavily sought after, although it can be found in places like Asia, North America, and Europe, it's usually hidden under fallen leaves on the forest floor, which explains why they're so hard to find. The annual harvest in Japan, where it's most popular, is usually less than 1,000 tons. Number 9, Westin Hotel Bagel, $1,000. New York City is famous for many things: the Statue of Liberty, Wall Street, and of course, the city's love for bagels. The bagel is the city's iconic food, so it only makes sense that the Big Apple would have some of the most outrageous bagels. The Westin Hotel in New York holds the award for selling the most expensive bagel in the world. It may look like a regular bagel, the kind of food you'd have for breakfast in a fast food joint. Then again, the Westin Hotel's bagel comes laced with white truffle cream cheese and goji berries and a gold leaf infused Riesling jelly, so maybe not. The luxury pastry created by chef Frank Tujegu comes with a $1,000 price tag. With an expensive list of some of the best ingredients you can find, this bagel more than earns its surprising price, although you'd have to be incredibly wealthy to afford the treat. Before we move on, leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be the first watching new episodes. Number 8, zillion dollar lobster frittata, $1,000. Omelets are so easy to cook. All you need are some eggs and any other food you wish to use as an ingredient. Easy enough. Except in La Parker Meridian Hotel in New York, that's not how it's done. A restaurant called Norma's took it to the next level when they added 10 ounces of Saruga caviar and lobster claws into 6 eggs. The result is a $1,000 omelet, or as the restaurant calls it, the zillion dollar lobster frittata. It cost about $1,000 to try one of these, but if that's a little heavy for your pocket, you can always go for the scale version that features only 10% of the caviar for $100. If you can't pay the full price though, not to worry, you're not alone. The full version of the frittata has only been sold 12 times ever. The smaller version, on the other hand, is ordered more than 50 times a year. Number 7, Wagyu ribeye steak, $2,800. If you've seen Wagyu beef on a menu before, you probably have noticed how expensive it is. When translated, Wa means Japanese and Gyu means cow. Literally, Wagyu means Japanese cow. Wagyu or Japanese beef is one of the most expensive meats in the world. Produced in Japan and loved for its rich, buttery taste, high-grade Wagyu can cost up to $500 per pound, and the cows themselves can sell for as much as $30,000. The cows are bred solely for physical endurance. That's why they have so much more muscular fat cells compared to other cows. The fat is distributed more evenly throughout their muscle, which is why Wagyu beef looks pink and tastes so tender. The Japanese government knows the world loves its meat, which is why they tightly regulate Wagyu production to protect the meat's value and quality. Because of its taste and popularity, Wagyu beef has gained almost legendary status. There are many myths about Wagyu farms and how the animals are treated, from getting daily massages to being fed beer. The stories all seem to be working well because a New York restaurant once sold a full Wagyu ribeye for $2,800. Number 6, Salmon Dare Kazana Curry, $3,200. While the rest of the world celebrated the release of the hit movie Slumdog Millionaire by dancing to the Pussycat Dolls' J-Ho, Bombay Brazier, a restaurant in London, decided to celebrate differently. by creating a curry dish fit for winners of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's called Sumandare Karzana, or Seafood Treasure. White truffle? Check. Devon crab? Check. Bulgur caviar in gold leaf? Why not? The dish comes complete with gold-coated Scottish lobsters, 4 abalones, and 4 quail eggs filled with even more caviar. Bombay Brazier packed the dish full of the most expensive ingredients they can find, which is why they slapped such a hefty price tag on it. At 3,200 pounds, it's the most expensive curry in the world. Number 5. Pizza Royale 007, $4,200. Pizza is the second most popular dish in the world. It's second only to chicken. It's more popular than bread, so it's not surprising at all that someone decided to create the world's most expensive pizza. This edible masterpiece was created by Mr. Domenico Crolla, Scottish-Italian that runs the award-winning restaurant Bella Napoli. Already known for putting portraits on pizzas, he decided to create the Pizza Royale 007 to sell it off eBay to raise money for the Fred Hollows Foundation. The 12-inch pizza comes with a mixture of the world's most expensive ingredients, such as caviar soaked in Dom Perignon champagne, Scottish smoked salmon, lobster marinated in cognac, venison medallions, the most delicate prosciutto, and vintage balsamic vinegar. But that's not all. When you thought it couldn't get any better, the pizza comes with a lavish amount of edible 24-karat gold flakes as topping. In the end, the pizza was bought by Italian lawyer Maurizio Morelli for $4,200. Number 4. Tenzuki Black Watermelon, $6,100. In 2006, a jumbo black watermelon auctioned in Japan fetched a record $6,100, making it the world's most expensive watermelon ever sold. It's hard to believe that regular watermelon would sell for that staggering price, but this is no regular watermelon. Tenzuki watermelon is known as the most expensive watermelon anywhere, and it can cost a minimum of $250 up to $6,000 each. So no, the auction was not a one-time fluke. These watermelons are as rare as they come. They only grow in the island of Hokkaido in Japan, with a typical harvest yielding only a dozen fruits. Away from its rarity though, something else makes it special. Its hardness and crispness are just perfect, and that's not mentioning the flavor. The fruit comes with a level of sweetness that's incomparable, which brings us to the question, is it worth the price? Well, unless you have $6,100 lying around somewhere, we'll never find out. Number 3. Yubari King Melons, $22,872. When it comes to expensive Japanese fruits, the Yubari melon is king. No, these are not ordinary melons that you can find in your local supermarket. These exclusive fruits are from the small city of Yubari in Hokkaido. The orange-fleshed Yubari King melons are loved because of their proportion and sweetness. Each of these melons is grown through 100 days of careful and rigorous planning. Yubari City in Hokkaido is one of the most inaccessible places in Japan after it was abandoned in the early 2000s. So Yubari melons are not exactly easy to find. These melons are so rare and in demand that the few times you come across them are during auctions. A souvenir and seafood businessman paid more than $23,000 in auction for the honor of taking home one of the Yubari exclusive melons. Number 2. Almas Caviar, $25,000. The extremely rare food from Iran is number 2 on this list, the Almas Caviar. Caviars are already one of the most expensive things to begin with, but the rarity of Almas Caviar makes it even more costly. In fact, finding a store that sells one of these is like looking for a needle in the haystack. Almas is one of those food items that are not for sale just anywhere. To buy it, you have to go to one of the few select Caviar House and Premier stores in London, the only place in the world where it is available for sale. The store packages the caviar on a per kilo basis and places it in a tin made of 24-karat gold. The price? $25,000. Seeing that that's more than what most people can afford, the store graciously created a smaller tin that you can get a taste of for just $1,250. Still, on the high but pretty considerate, all things considered. Number 1. White Alba Truffle, $160,406. At number 1 on this list of most expensive foods, we have the most expensive dish in the world, white Alba truffle. These ugly little lumps of fungus may look funny, but when shaved over pasta or eggs, The Alba white truffle is stunningly delicious. Away from their great taste, these bad boys are notoriously difficult to come by, resulting in a shockingly high price tag. Still, they are in high demand. In some cases, they'll set you back nearly $10,000 per kilo. But even that is nothing compared to how much this truffle went for. A huge white Alba truffle that came in at around 1.5 kilograms once sold for over $160,000 to a retail investor from Hong Kong and his wife. Yeah, someone somewhere had no problem spending $160,000 on food, cementing White Alba's truffle place as the most expensive food in the world. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and let us know what food you would